Hello, virtual audience. This is Rebecca, and with me is one of our hosts from Spark the Summer. We're here to keep you all engaged and entertained. Our live audience, our Fuego families, are making their way to sit down, and we'll be turning the camera for remarks and some more things to keep you all entertained for the next hour. Feel free to use the chat function, and we'll try to keep an eye on it if you have any questions or comments. But there will be lots of opportunity to watch and have a good time. Hi, Julie. Nice to see you. Oh, I think you're muted, Julie. We're not quite hearing you.
Oh, I think I might have to sign off a few minutes early, but I'm happy to.
That's totally fine. It's a very casual program. You can keep your camera off the whole time if you want and be making dinner or having a drink or doing whatever. Hi, Amanda.
Awesome.
We will be turning the camera just shortly once remarks get started. We have some pre-recorded content exclusive for the virtual audience and an opportunity to see a live demo. So I think we'll be a jam-packed hour and hop on and off whenever, if ever it's convenient for you. And I'll just reintroduce Is our community programs manager. He was one of our Spark the Summer hosts, has agreed to help me keep you all entertained.
Yeah, it's great to have everyone here this evening. We're really excited to have this program. I mean, Fuego has been something that through the years has just been, it's grown, and it's just an amazing program watching all of these young folks like grow as artists and as people. It's such a beautiful experience. So thank you for joining us tonight.
All right, welcome to the Fuego 2021 exhibition. If you haven't seated yet, please go ahead and find a seat. We are going to start our opening comments soon. Let's give ourselves maybe a 30-second countdown to get to our seats. A 30-second countdown to get to our seats. For those of you who are in our Zoom audience, my name is Nico Chen. Please be patient with us. We will get started real soon. Once again, we are going to get started with our remarks in about 15 seconds. Please make your way to the seats so that we can get started promptly. We also have a Zoom audience who is waiting for us to start. So let's respect that time so that they're not waiting for too long. All right, thank you, Khalid, for coming to your seats. I see our Fuegos coming in. Once again, our guests should be coming in, and we'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, and all right. Let's give a round of applause for our Fuego Youth Leaders 2021. So my name is Nico Chen. I am the Fuego Youth Leadership Coordinator, and I am very happy to welcome you to this joyful space of making a creation. Our kids have been able to actualize their final projects, which you have been seeing on the pedestals. And today we are going to welcome you, not with a speech, but rather with a dialogue about what we are learning through the Fuego Youth Leadership Program. For this dialogue, I will be part of that dialogue, but we also have our Fuego 2021 ceramics leader, Shayla Jones. Let's give a round of applause to Shayla Jones. All right, so Shayla, can you tell me about what is going on in the picture on the first slide?
Well, this picture was taken last Tuesday afternoon. It was 90% done with my project. This is a 23-inch ceramic piece that calls Split Personalities. Here I am applying the last layer of paint on the nice side of my sculpture.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Shayla. And can you also tell me more about the person who is standing next to you in that picture?
Yeah, that's my mentor, Rosa. She supported me the whole way through this program, encouraged me every day. We have been getting closer, and she inspired me to never give up.
So tell me about a moment when you remember learning something important from your mentor.
I remember the day I made a lizard, which was supposed to be part of my tree, but as you see, it's not part of my tree. So let me tell you why. So I was walking from ceramic, it was the studio outside, and I was feeling super proud of my lizard that I just sculpted. There was a kid who was not looking and ran into me. Suddenly I realized my lizard was broken. All the limbs was gone. At the moment, I was all up in my feelings, but I couldn't show it because it was a kid. But because it was a kid that bumped into me, I went upstairs and Rosa noticed that I was disappointed. With Rosa there with me, I got over it at some point. I remember that she told me that it's okay to let go of things. What I learned from this moment that was cracks, accidents, and mistakes are part of the learning process. Actually, when a crack happens these days, I see it as a form of release. And it's a way to learn how to do things better the next time I try it.
So the Fuego program is not just about your individual projects. In your words, Shayla, what do you think the Fuego program is about?
It's about community.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by community?
Yes, it's about learning from each other. It's a great opportunity to not only know each other as friends, but a space where we can show each other our hidden talents.
Oh, interesting. So can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by hidden talents?
Well, I really want to talk about our weekly Fuego Altar, which is a chance for us to bring something that we made, something that we consider as important to us, and be able to share it with the Fuego community.
Oh yeah, I would also love to have us talk a little bit more about the Fuego Altar and what we learned from each other by creating the sacred artist space for each other. One surprising thing that I remember learning is from our Fuego in Blacksmithing, Chris. He brought a spatula that he made in blacksmithing class during the first week, but he also shared a page from his gallery guide that told us about how he started cooking with his mother from the age of 8. I didn't know that side of Chris before that moment. And being able to see these two sides of our Fuego leaders really helped us to bond, not only as artists, but also as a community. What was the experience of creating and seeing the Fuego Altar for yourself, Shayla?
What I've learned is that everyone has their own definition of art. So I remember that you brought a bunch of origami cranes into the altar, as well as collage pieces that included beautiful words about nature, as well as some cool patterns from nature. I got to know you better by seeing how you respect by how I see you respect nature and inspired by natural scope by natural elements. I also learned about Isaiah because he brought this really cute sculpture and he showed us one of his gallery guide pages that showed us how to create this piece. Sarah also brought in a drawing she did at home. And I was like, damn, she hella good at drawing. I also learned that her favorite animal is the horse. It gave me an insight into what inspires her. I also see this drawing may have inspired her to create her final project in wood, which is carving a horse's head, which you'll see in the pedestal today.
I love that, Shayla. I decided to include the origami cranes in my section of the Fuego Altar for a reason. Do you remember why I might have included these origami cranes?
It was your Skillshare, right, Nico?
Yeah, so Skillshares are also a very important part of the Fuego program. If we were to look closely at Isaiah's statue over there, what do you also notice about that statue?
I see that this character has a necklace, but I also know that Isaiah made this necklace during Yasmin's Skillshare, which was the Skillshare facilitated by a Fuego.
So can you tell me more about what you learned from Yasmin's Skillshare?
I learned how to make friendship bracelets by burning 3 strings. It was pretty simple, but it was a great opportunity to chill out. It's one of those skills where I feel like if I ever come across string again, I'll be able to make a friendship bracelet with no problem. Plus, we were instructed to make this friendship bracelet for the person sitting next to us. By making something together, giving what we make away to someone, and being able to receive a gift from someone, it was a great moment for our Fuegos community to bond.
You know, Shayla, speaking about bonding, there's another Skillshare I remember that required us to learn how to work together as a team. Let's take a look at the next slide. Shayla, do you remember the Skillshare?
Oh yeah, that was Edgar's tower making challenge where we used marshmallows and spaghetti.
So what did we learn from this Skillshare?
We learned to work together as a team. Because those materials was hella flimsy and the spaghetti just kept breaking off, I remember that you joined our team when Sheree needed to put a marshmallow on top of our tower. You had to hold one side of the tower carefully while I held the other side of the tower. We had to try many different methods and possibilities. Even though we did not end up making the tallest tower, I remember ours stayed up for a long time and we was proud for what we made.
So I see Chris in that picture holding up a messed up tower, right? Do you think that he felt annoyed or sad that Eric's tower was collapsing?
Nah, because we were just in a moment of the making. It was competitive, yes, but it was more about learning to trust each other. We might make mistakes, but we always end up having fun.
Yeah, I also remember that the winning team also showed great leadership. Even though they ended up with the tallest tower, they weren't bragging or anything. It was mostly about working together so that we can find new ways of making things. So far we've talked about the Skillshares that helped us bond as a team. Shayla, were there any Skillshares that gave you a better idea of the other departments that our Fuegos were in?
Yeah, I remember Khalid's Skillshare, which was about teamwork, but also about basic robotics. It's right here. We sat in a circle and Khalid was holding a fan and challenged us to connect the wires as a whole group to turn on the fan. I always thought Khalid was only in welding, but I also learned from the Skillshare that he had taken some classes in robotics at the Crucible and he shared some basic knowledge, what he learned from those classes.
I also remember another Skillshare where I learned about TIG welding, a department at the Crucible that I actually knew very little about. Shayla, did you get to go to Tobias's Skillshare?
Nah, I was busy making my final project that day, but I heard it was lit, literally.
Yeah, and I can confirm that it was definitely lit. I remember being in awe of how detailed this type of welding is. The welding tool was only as big as a fountain pen, and I was surprised at how powerful it is. I learned that TIG welding is a skill that gives us the power to weld in a much more detailed way. I would say that I stepped away with a much better understanding about the possibilities of this new type of welding. So Shayla, is there another type of Skillshare that you remember fondly today?
Oh yeah, Sarah's Skillshare. She bought these amazing beads from her grandmother's collection, and she didn't even have to give us a prompt. Even though she showed us her beaded hummingbird as an example, we all just went with it and came up with our own ideas. I wanted to make a royal A because it's the first letter of the alphabet as well as the first letter of my name. I asked Sarah to help me with the writing the letter because I know she's super talented at it. And I was able to pick out the color beads and I wanted to glue together to make this art piece.
So here, I see that you are also incorporating your royal A into the Fuego Altar. Can you tell me what you are learning in that picture to the right?
I learned that we are learning from each other how to do and make new things, and using everything we have to continue to make our collaboration altar beautiful. I remember our altar from the first week, which was good, but basic. However, by week 3, we were able to include new things that we made during our Skillshare in our Fuego Altar, making it better and better.
I also want to quickly remind our audience members that we have our most recent iteration of our Fuego Altar in Studio 239, which you can access by entering there. So please stop by to check out our Fuego Altar. If you happen to have the time, please make an appreciation card for the Fuegos and leave it at the altar. Shayla, I also want to shout out the moment that I was finishing up my beaded piece the day after Sarah's Skillshare. Do you remember what happened that day?
Oh yeah, of course. We were sitting at the same table, and I remember just finishing my gallery guide while you was finishing your final touches of your ocean piece with the beads. Then all of a sudden, one of the legs of the table just gave away, and all your beads were just rolling all over the floor.
Yeah, I remember that you were kind of, I remember that day was just so upsetting because, I was in front of all of you and I was just trying to not feel visibly upset and, all up in arms because I knew that it was none of your faults.
Yeah, I noticed that you were kind of upset because you were basically done with that project. I remember seeing the corner of my eye that you finished putting the last bead on your piece because you were closing the bead case, putting some pressure on the table. That's when everything just collapsed.
Yeah, I was having a really difficult moment and I was very proud of the piece, which I also wanted to contribute to our Fuego Altar that week. I remember that you showed me a whole lot of empathy, and thank you for that. And I really want to thank you for being there during that difficult moment.
Yeah, I learned it from our Crucible community. I remember that after Rosa tried to make me feel better about my lizard being broke, I still felt upset walking outside the ceramic studio. Daniel, another staff member, asked me if I was okay. I told him the story about the lizard, and he gave me good advice. He told me to not get too attached to our art because it could break in any moment. It's a good lesson, and I'll take that with me.
I remember that during lunch, you stayed behind and you told me that it's okay to feel upset. You also told me it's okay to let things go. So after talking to you, I remember how important it is for us to be in community and how important empathy is when it comes to making art and getting over the moments when things do not quite align. Now, Shayla, I want you to talk about your Skillshare. Tell our audience what Skillshare you facilitated.
So, I facilitated a ceramic Skillshare. My prompt was for the Fuegos to make a pendant, but everyone ended up making their own spin of what to make. For example, Freddie ended up making a small dish, and Angel ended up making SpongeBob.
So what did you learn from facilitating this Skillshare?
It was a really good way to learn about the importance of leadership, and that leadership takes lots of preparation, practice, and encouragement. From a mentor, Rosa first had to work with me to prepare the instructions and steps for this multi-day Skillshare. It was a challenge because this Skillshare had many parts. On the first day, we had to prepare the clay and mold it into the shape we want. On the second day, I instructed the Fuegos how to add color and glaze. Then I had to make sure they all went into the kiln. I gave the final pieces to the Fuegos once they were ready. Before doing this Skillshare, I didn't realize how much preparation went into teaching ceramics. But after doing this Skillshare, I have mad respect for all the things that Rosa, my mentor, is able to do at the Crucible.
I just think we should also do a round of applause for Rosa, who has been showing up on the stage. Where's Rosa? There's Rosa right there. So as a final question, Shayla, through the Fuego program, we are not only learning at the Crucible, but also outside of the Crucible. Can you talk about what you were able to learn outside of the Crucible?
So we went on a couple field trips. We went on a mirror walk. We went to some industrial recycling facilities such as ABNI and CAS, who also are funders. I got to learn about the importance of recycling and sustainability. I remember walking by these places and having no idea that these places even exist. I remember, but now I have mad respect for these companies who changed the system so that we can live in a more sustainable world. I also saw a bunch of Fuegos bringing home scrap metals from CAS. And they reimagined what scrap metals could become by including these recycled pieces in their final projects. Even though I don't use metal for my project because I'm in ceramic, I learned how we can reuse and repurpose scrap metals when creating art.
Thank you for sharing that, Shayla. It is now time for us to transition to the next part of today's exhibition, which are the exhibitions of leadership by this year's 11 Fuegos. Before that, we're actually going to have a little closing statement from our wonderful executive director, Susan Mernitz. Susan?
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan. Doesn't it feel really good to be here and see the wonderful work that our young people have done this summer? I am so proud of them. So proud. If you are a faculty member, a studio crew member, or an administrative staff person who supported Fuegos this summer, please put your hand up. Show yourself. If you are a family member, a relative, an ally, or a friend who came out to show support for these amazing young people, please put your hand up. You are a resident of Oakland who wants to keep opportunity for young people and adults in our community happening so we don't get pushed out and our young folks get to do all the things that everybody gets to do. Put your hand up. All about supporting the power, the beauty, and the skill of young people and what they can learn both on their own and together. And this is one of the programs at the Crucible that we call a community program, which means rather than charge families for it, we actually pay the youth a stipend to help recognize the value of their time for coming here, and we raise money from funders. So this is the point where I thank all the organizations that gave money, even after a year of COVID and being closed, because they really believe in this program. And this is one of those places where actually the funding makes a huge difference because it made what we've accomplished with our faculty, our teaching assistants, and our young people possible. I want to thank the California Arts Council, the Miranda Lux Foundation, the Port of Oakland, the PG&E Foundation, and last but not least, one of our most loyal and special funders, CAS, the local aluminum and metal recycling company. They have stepped up and done so much for the Fuegos and for us year after year. And I really appreciate that we can count on them. We know that when Fuegos coming around, they always want to hear about it and they always want to help. So just join me in appreciating these people who are really trying to support our young folks and the work they did here this summer. Thank you.
Thank you for that lovely speech, Susan. And we're going to be talking about now the exhibitions of leadership. So, Shayla, will you be doing an exhibition of leadership in ceramics today?
Sadly, no, because No, because ceramic is a multi-day process. We only have 40 minutes. I will be supporting my friend Sheree exhibition of leadership in the glass Flamework studio. Though, Sheree, can you stand up so we can see you? Let's give her some love. We hope to see you at the Glass Flamework studio where we'll be teaching you how to make hearts and mushrooms.
So once again, these exhibitions of leadership, you can choose one to go to. They're about 40 minutes long. We also have our jewelry Fuegos, Freddie and Yasmin. Freddie and Yasmin, can you stand up so that we can see you? All right. So they will be teaching you how to make some basic jewelry pieces.
Next, we got Sarah, who will be giving us carving lessons in the wood studio. Sarah, can you stand up for us, please, so we can give you some love?
We also have our 5 amazing welders, Angel, Edgar, Isaiah, Khalid, and Tobias. Can you all stand up so that we can see you? And let's go listen loud. And they will be showing you 3 different types of welding: arc, MIG, and TIG, okay?
And last but not least, we got Chris, who will be giving us a blacksmithing demo in the blacksmithing studio. Chris, can you stand up for us, please, so we can give you some love? Oh, there you go. Hey, perfect person came in time.
Thank you so much for coming to our Fuego 2021 exhibition. Once again, you can choose one of the exhibitions of leadership to go to, where you will get either a free demo from our Fuego leaders, or you will be able to learn something small. Please make sure that you come back. I know we are running a little bit late. We're supposed to start at 6:50. Let's plan to come back to the seating area at 7:40 for our final forum with all of our Fuego leaders. But go ahead and start navigating into the spaces for their demonstration of leadership.
Thank y'all.
Hello, virtual audience. While our team is getting together on the demonstrations, we wanted to show a couple of a little bit of content just for this audience here. As we said before, we're so grateful to Cass, who has been a Fuego supporter for over 10 years. And we just want to share a video that they did of this cohort that we're really, really proud to share with you right now. So just a second while we do this transition. I hope everyone is comfortable and enjoying themselves from home. And we do miss you here at the building. So that's definitely for sure. But hopefully you're enjoying it from the comfort of your home. Okay.
The Crucible is a great place for people that want to be makers to come learn.
I feel like to have an organization like the Crucible, it's free to be creative.
Freedom to create anything that you want. We're one of the few places where blacksmithing, welding, woodworking, ceramics, glass flameworking all can exist in one 56,000 square foot warehouse.
Crucible kind of gathers together like-minded people like that, and like the Crucible mixes them, meets them up, and sees what they make together.
I don't know yet what my final project is going to be, but I'm thinking of making a grilling set because it's summer. Grilling is fun.
I'm going to carve a horse head, so it's going to be about yay high. My final project is going to be a robot, and then different parts of the body is going to be like a different animal.
My favorite thing about the Crucible, the creativity that we get to do and everything we get to make.
Tail of the scorpion.
So it's a heart.
I've been making some crab arms.
Some things that inspire me in my creativity are film making, other pieces of artwork. I would have to say music.
The weirder the scrap, the more interesting and more inspiring it is for me.
The inspiration came from my dad.
Some things just catch my eye. They inspire me to draw them.
Every project I make, I have a story.
So Cass has been the flagship supporter of the Crucible's Fuego Youth Leadership Program for over 10 years.
It's very important for the Crucible to have a partner like Cass. They help us out with funding and field trips like the one we went on today, which was really fun.
As well as a big donator of scrap metal, which helps fuel a lot of the materials for some of our metalworking departments.
It's important important to recycle and repurpose materials so that we don't have as big of an impact on the earth.
I loved everyone there. They were like super friendly, super welcoming.
I really enjoyed myself at CAS, and also funding to help this place to teach as many kids as they can.
No other place that's like the Crucible.
It's just a really special, unique place, and it's made special by the people that come here and the people that support it.
Join the Fuego. You'll love it. Trust me.
The Crucible, it's like more hands-on, and that's what I like about it. You know, I'm a hands-on guy.
I really enjoy it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so that was our Fuegos. That was our cast support. So amazing. We couldn't really do this without their support. Like they said, they've been doing this for years and so appreciative all the work they do. So we're going to be getting ready soon for some demos. And Rebecca's been kindly enough to head out to some studios so we can see some demos live, which will be really exciting. So there she is.
Hi, Iz. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Do you
great.
see me?
I see you.
Okay, here we go. We're going into the MIG and TIG area, everyone. Hello. It looks like they might still be setting up, but I'll go ahead and keep the camera on for now. Hey Vita, I saw your message on the chat. We have 11 Fuegos this year, all of whom are first years, because last year during the pandemic, we opted to not reopen the program last year. But this year, we're thrilled to welcome 11 first-year Fuegos, some of whom are about to start a welding demo, looks like, with the assistance of faculty member Mark Metz. So yes, 11 Fuegos this year, all first years. Hoods are coming on, that's a good sign. Right, I have my hood on. Thank you for.
Hey, Rebecca, how do you feel about running some video while folks get ready?
Am I okay?
11?
I think so.
Yeah, 11's good.
All right, we have to have the right kind of hood. Hey, it looks like they might need a couple more minutes. Do you want to go ahead and roll the next, the other pre-recorded content we have for our virtual audience?
Yeah,
and introduce that?
absolutely. Yeah, let's get that going. All right, so this is a little video of all of our Fuegos that we put together for folks. So let's take a look and get to know everyone.
My name is Sheree. I work in glass flameworking. My project is a Black Widow. This red part is Black Widow from Marvel. This took at least like 3 days. I worked with Itai. He's a famous glass artist. He does music, glass. Then I almost burned myself throughout it and it cracked each time. I do watch a lot of Marvel, and Black Widow is like, that's kind of hard. Like first, second, third, whichever one. And the women, and like between all of them, probably like the second one. She pushed herself through all of the bad energy that she had. I don't know if I should explain the whole movie of Black Widow because I don't want to spoil that.
Hello, my name is Edgar, and my workspace is Arc Welding, and I made this scorpion. Yeah, right? Okay. I made this scorpion with the tail as a snake. I like the bends I did for blacksmithing. I did the bends for blacksmithing. I curved it with 3 different metals. I made this one as a support to hold the inner metal for the tail. And this one is for the outside so it could support the other one's tubing through the shell of the scorpion. That's pretty much it for the tail. As I said a little while ago, I blacksmith this from side to side. It wasn't originally supposed to be this small. I thought it was gonna be larger, but then I had to size it for the scorpion. So yeah. I randomly got the claws. I didn't really do that much for the claws, didn't really plan for it. I mainly got most of everything right here, mainly the snake, the scorpion body, the scorpion tail, and the body to it, the shell of it, and the legs of it done yesterday and today. My dad lives in, well, he doesn't live, he was born in Mexico. That's where I got the snake idea. And there's a place in Mexico that's called Durango. And they're mainly known for a lot of alacrans there. Scorpions there. So, yeah.
You ready to go there, Rebecca?
It looks like we're about ready to go here. Is that
All right.
Are we ready to start a demo over here?
It looks like he's ready.
Okay.
He's talking, but he could be well.
We use the tiniest little amount of heat possible to just melt 2 sides and join them together.
Might not seem that bright when you have it on, but compared to sunglasses, if yours is at 11 right now, sunglasses are free. So that's kind of a scale of how bright it is. So I'm going to do another tack, and then I'll do the weld. That'll be it. Beginning of my demo. Yeah, as long as they don't look directly at it. So, welding, cover. So I just did my second tack. This time the two parts were a little bit too far apart, so I had to use a little bit of filler. I let this melt into the metal so that it would come together to form one. So now that I have both the tacks, I can take it off the aluminum and do a weld on top of it this way. So when I'm doing this, it's a little bit different than the other ones. Right now, this is not that hot because I did this several thousand degrees, but not on the tip, just where it's welding. But for the next part, it's going to be a little bit of a dance. You melt, you do the same move, yeah? You do the same, yeah? Oh yeah, sorry. You do the same moving back and forth technique like before, but now you're doing a little dance where you're adding into filler. So you got to go back, forth, up, filler, back, forth, up, filler, back, forth, up, filler. That over and over again until you finish all of it to the other side. This is the hardest form of welding.
Is that to make?
Yeah, make it.
To bind it or something? Okay.
Yeah. So.
No.
Don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for.
Oh, sorry. I'm back.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you look at it, like I can bend it with my fingers. They're stuck together, but they're not really stuck together. I want them to become one piece of metal. I want it to be so that if you try to break it, the plate will break before the weld breaks. That's what welding is. So I'm going to do the seam now. So again, cover. So that's not the best of welds, but this is an example of what it would look like. I'd have my dance back and forth, and it would slowly seam it together by going back and forth and melting both sides, and then adding a little bit of extra material to bridge the gap. Yeah, so you would just continue that back and forth. And I'm going to do one more time this time, a little bit faster. But this time, I'm going to purposely make them a little bit closer together because I want to show you different types of welding with this. Oh, is it glitching? Yeah, it's auto sensing. Yeah, it's auto sensing. It shouldn't be blinking that much. Yeah. But if these blocks, yeah, is it like I blocked it?
Oh, there's some more action over here. Ooh. Sorry.
I haven't done it.
Okay.
Grab that on the top, put it on, and put it in front of your face. That's an option. This time, I'm just going to tack it together, and then I'm going to fuse it. So that's where I do the same welding, but instead of using the filler, I just go back and forth and melt the two sides together. So, cover. As you can see, they're not quite close enough together. I've been trying to get them together like that, but they keep pulling away to the side. This is why we use filler, because without it, you just keep getting two molten pieces on both sides. If you want to come closer to take a quick look at it. I guess it is. So when this gets dull, like it just did, you can see how it has a little bit of a something at the very end. It stops working as well. You want it nice and sharp, like this one. This is like perfect. So when it stops being sharp, this is the one thing about TIG that takes a little longer. You have to fix it and put it back together. So now I'm going to do my laps. I'm going to tack this and do a weld on it, and then that will begin my demo. Cover. Now for this weld, I'm gonna try to do filler, but honestly, it might be too far apart, and I might be too low to do filler. But in that case, 25 to 40, which when you turn it on more and give it more heat, it makes the metal melt more. Which is good. But the thing with stainless is it wants as minimal amount of heat as possible. So it's a cost you have to pay sometimes. So cover. That is a good weld. That is a very nice weld. The sad thing is it's not rainbow, which you can do with stainless. It's starting to get it, but it's not quite there yet. But that is my demo. This is how you do TIG welding.
Thank you, Tobias. Can you show our virtual audience what you were able to make? Oh, really hot.
Yeah, these are probably a lot hotter than. This is the first one, not the best weld. This is the second one. It's actually got a little bit of a rainbow hue to it. Now that I look at it, it's got a little bit of a pinkness to it.
Looks great.
You can get almost every color from gold to blue to pink. Yes. So that is
all right. I am moving to the next demo. Would you mind rolling the next pre-recorded interview with one of our Fuegos while I transition?
Absolutely. That was great. Thanks, Tobias. All right, so now we're gonna watch a little bit more and meet some more of our Fuegos.
My name is Freddie Musa. I am in the metal jewelry department, and I have made a series of rings that are record player and speakers. Okay, sorry. So my record player and speakers is kind of inspired from my passion for music. I just love listening to music 24/7, but I never had the right touch for playing music. So that's why I started getting into vinyl, because I could enjoy it in a whole new way. So I really have the experience of getting that awesome sound quality and just really like diving deep into the music that I love. So being one of my other passions being metal jewelry, I was like, okay, how can I combine these two? So I was like, I really like doing rings, and I don't know, I just had the idea of one day, I'm like, all right, let's make some record player rings. So at first my design was kind of just like a flat plate of a record player, and I'm like, how can I take this to the next level? So what I really decided to do is make it three-dimensional and have it an actual box. So I think that really pushed myself, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And, yeah. I think the most challenging part was like kind of figuring out how to do this. Like I've never really made a box before that kind of went on a ring, and it's just a very new thing to me. So I think just kind of figuring out how to do it and what kind of processes I was needing to take. I know during the process, a lot of things would happen, like I would mess up and have to go back. And during that, it really, really taught me patience because I just didn't have that before. I was like, okay, when is this going to be done? I just need to figure this out. But I really just kind of figured out, I'm like, all right, you just got to take your time and like work on this. So that was pretty challenging, but I got over that.
My name is Shayla Jones, and my department is ceramic. My project, the name is Split Personalities, because this represents my personalities. One side is my introvert, that's the shadow side, that's how I view myself. The light side is my extrovert side, and that represents how people see me. This is where, this is my reference photo that I use to make this, and I'm very satisfied and happy I made this. The most challenging part was motivation. I lacked a lot of motivation, and I was around great. I had a great support system around me to keep moving every day because we got closer and closer. Motivation.
All right, we're gonna head over.
Okay, I'm in the woodworking department and we have a demo underway. Let's take a look. Sorry, please keep going. We're here with the virtual audience.
Another thing, you don't want to push too hard and lose control in your hands because then it'll go out and you'll ruin the design. So just try to push steady and evenly and keep control with your left hand so that it doesn't go out of whack. If you want to make a cut and it stops at a specific point, you want to make a stop cut. So I'm just going to go down with the chisel, push down a little bit, bring it back up, and then take out that piece of wood. And then that stop cut stops the wood so it doesn't go any further. So that's a stop cut. And I'm pretty sure that's all it. So if you guys want to carve something, you can. Sure. So if it's there, it's there not. Good. Okay, do your starting design first. You send it. How would you carve that? What? That is end grain. Okay. That would be harder because all the grains, if you were to carve here, then it would crack and it would start coming down all the way. So that's harder. They don't really do that.
So on your piece set, you just go with the size of the top, or?
Yeah, so I had the little curves, and so I bandsawed that out. But on the top, I did carve with the grain, or sorry, the end grain. So I chiseled away, and it brought the grain down a bit, and it made stop cuts so that it didn't go too far. Because if it went too far, then it would ruin the design.
Would you mind sharing a little bit of what you were practicing here for the virtual audience?
This is just a little design that I was doing for a demonstration for them.
Great. Thank you. And then we have a couple audience members working on projects with our Fuegos. It's part of the program to teach what you learn. Let's see this student over here.
first thing about hardening is never cut it towards yourself. It's pretty dangerous. You also never want to put your hand in front of yourself. So I'm going to carve. I'm going to start here. I'm going to be carving with the grain. So this is the grain here. You see, it's going this way. So that's not my chin here because you're going in the direction of the grain. If I were to go against the direction, it would be harder. It's the opposite. So I'm just going to start by putting my right hand about it. Right-handed. This is what you push up. And your left hand goes over the top. This is your steering wheel. Also your what you steer with. And so I'm just going to start with here. Go down and then bring it back. Bring the chisel down. Here. And take out. So I'm going to down and so you can take away little chips at a time if you want, or you can take longer strides. This and go all the way if you want it. Or you can make texture like Jessica's doing, and you can just take out little chips at a time and make the texture that you want. Carving against the grain is harder, so you just have to push a little harder. Make sure to keep control with your left hand, because if you go too far, you want to have your left hand in control so that it doesn't go crazy. Takes a lot of hard work. Yeah. Somehow, I know it's kind of, it looks easy, but it's really hard. How do you learn how to maneuver so that you don't go over the edge and stuff? Oh, I forgot about that. So one thing, if you want to make a specific stop cut, and then you just put the chisel down there, and take the cut, and the stop cut stops it so that it doesn't go any further. So that's the stop cut. It's really helpful with persistent classes.
All right, I'm gonna make my way to the next demo. Can you share how many Fuegos are on faculty, if you happen to know? Amanda brought up a great point, so many of our Fuegos become teachers here.
Yeah, I mean, we have, I would say there's probably, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so Fuegos that have gone on to become faculty members. And the number just keeps growing. So, I mean, it's definitely a beautiful thing seeing all this stuff come full circle from these, youth that were in here when they're 12 years old to now they're young adults, and being able to share their skills and continue to pass on the knowledge and education. It's amazing. It's one of the best things that we do around here. It really is.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Iz, for rolling more of those interviews.
All right, let's get going. All right, let's meet some more Fuegos.
So my name is Yasmin. I work in the jewelry department, and I made a bunch of 5 like little Hello Kitty figurines, kind of, and then a necklace. I made the Hello Kitties because I love Hello Kitty, and I used to collect little action figures when I was a kid. So I thought I'd just make my own. And the necklace was just like a side project. I think the hardest part for the Hello Kitties were cutting out all the pieces and soldering the bigger pieces. That was difficult. And then the hardest part about the necklace was making the little jump rings. That was hard. So Hello Kitty doesn't like typically have facial expressions, but I wanted them to be different besides size, so I added facial expressions. Also, like, just showing it's okay to have it, emotions. Yeah. This one, it was really hard soldering it, so the face is a little messed up, but it's like a blank face, no emotion. This one was the biggest one, so I left her like how she originally is. This one, she has a little tear. This one, I think, she's like nervous or queasy, like anxiety kind of. And this one's just kind of sad. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, I think we're gonna check out some more demos.
So here we have a Fuego teaching someone glass flameworking technique. It's a little loud, but hopefully you all can hear.
Okay, all right. No. Need the tip. What I do? Need the tip. Need the tip. Okay. Oh, sorry. Only the tip. There you go. When it pulls out, yes. Oh, nice. I'm making a heart. Okay, I see a little heart coming through. I already made this one up. It's still hot. It's still hot. I heard it. But I hold on. I hold on to it. Here. Hold on to it.
Woo, that's great.
I think it's gonna come out. Oh, here we go. Hold on to it. Okay, I am. Twist it, twist it, twist it. Twist it. Wait, circle. Huh? Oh, I did it. Circle, circle. I think I did it. Yay!
Hey, that looks like a heart to me.
That's a heart, yeah. Yay!
Look at that torch. How does it feel?
I think I did a really good job. This is my second try. The first one was right here. I kind of had some mishaps.
Incredible instruction though, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I'd like to share that is my daughter that was instructing me. So
Oh, how special.
Yeah.
That's so
So
special.
it's good to see how she's been working throughout the program and how she's able to show and demonstrate to others and also to me so I can learn what she's doing as well.
Are you hooked to take a class now?
Yeah, I definitely think about taking a class. I didn't know about it until she was introduced to it, the Crucible, through her school. So she did a really good job coming to the program, and then she found out about the summer program. And every day she's eager to come, and she wants to try every day. And I've been hearing good things about everything that's been happening here.
All right. All right. We have heard it from a parent. That's so great. Thank you. And our audience thinks it looks like a heart as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, let's see what else is happening in Flameworking. We have another person here getting fabulous instruction from our Fuego. Oh, it's coming up. Woo! Gorgeous. That looks like a heart to me. You can kind of see it. A little up close. How was that? All right.
How was it? How was it here, right?
Oh yeah, that's good. There we go. That looks like a heart.
So now turn it on.
All right, I believe the demos are going to be wrapping up. There's still a little bit more of the pre-recorded content for our audience if you want to roll that for everyone while I move again.
Awesome.
We are past our Zoom time, so folks are free to hop on and off as it works for them. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right, we're gonna roll some more video and get to know a few more of our Fuegos. Once again, thank you all for joining us this evening. It really is amazing to see the amount of growth, not just as artists, but just these young folks are just doing such amazing things. But they've only been here 4 weeks, but it feels like, I mean, you can just see how much they've grown as artists. It really is amazing. But here we go. Let's get to know a few more.
So my name is Khalid Saeed, and I'm a Fuego in arc welding. And this is my final project that I made. So basically, it's just a robot, and then it has some attributes of a robot, and then different parts of the body are different animals, such as like the head, I put antlers for a deer. The hand is a claw for a crab, and then snakes are coming out the body. Then some wings for an eagle. And then the whiskers for the cat. I just made a skeleton hand. Yeah, I made it because I like a lot of animals and I really like making robots and welding. And that's like one of my favorite things to do. Some of the hard things were to do my welds that had really big gaps. And it was pretty hard to fill in the gaps, especially welding and arc welding, because it just melts the metal. So yeah.
My name's Sarah Gonzalez. I'm in the wood shop department, and this is my final piece. It's a horse head that I carved. It took me a while, and I think it was pretty hard because I have never carved anything 3D before. I have carved a little bit before, and when I got here, I was TAing, and I was not helping. I was kind of like bored just for one day. And so I just started to carve something, and I really enjoyed it. I got back into it, and so that inspired me to carve this for my final project. And I decided to carve a horse because horses are my favorite animal, and I want a horse in the future one day, maybe a few. Another thing that was difficult, I'd say just the whole thing overall was difficult, especially the details in the end. It took a long time to get all the details done, and I was kind of scared that I wouldn't get it done in time, but thankfully I did.
Hi, my name is Christopher Gonzalez, and I made a grilling set in Blacksmithing. I chose to make a grilling set because I love cooking, and I've been cooking since I was 8. And I made a lot of things that are needed for grilling, such as a grill and a spatula, and some other stuff with my extra time, like a pair of chopsticks and this apple. I think this apple itself is the hardest thing I made here, because we took, I think, a 2 feet block of rebar and squished it to a square and rounded it. But it's not the most round thing in the book. It was very challenging to get the divots in for the top and bottom, and I even messed up.
My name is Angel. I'm in the bike shop department, and this is my double-decker bike. And it took a lot of welding, cutting, and a lot of stuff to bring it all together. And it's just unique. I've seen people that I know make double-decker bikes, so it just like motivate me to make one. Not yet. Are
you excited about riding it around?
Yes.
Do you have a lot of other bikes?
Yes, I do.
Cool. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Gonzalez, and I'm in MIG Welding and Bike Shop, and my age is 15, and this is the bike killer, as you can see. This project took me around like 3 weeks. It's based off of the art bike class that they have in Bike Shop, which is a really fun class where you get to make like your own bike out of like different kinds of bikes, lowriders, like big bikes, tall bikes, short bikes, different kinds of bikes, and they literally chop up bikes into like 6 different pieces just for one little piece, which is hilarious to me. This is why I made this piece, so you can see all the dead bikes over here, and then he's chopping them up. This is technically the teachers of the bike shop class, so that's what they're based off. I originally made the smaller one over here, and then for my final, I thought I would make a bigger version, and this is the bigger version. One of the hardest parts was probably his saw hands and welding these bikes on here, because it's cast iron, so it's harder to weld like smaller things without melting them onto cast iron, and like they break kind of easily sometimes. And then the head is like really custom, because the original head is really similar to this one, but I had to customly make that one like the original. And then yeah, that was about the hardest thing.
My name is Tobias, and I am the Fuego for the TIG department. And this project here is called the Zenith. I've actually been thinking about the idea for this since about 6th grade. So this is a long in the process churning idea that's been floating around for a while. Yeah, I've been fabricating a whole origin story for it for a while, and I felt like it was about time to give it some life. Yeah, so on my pedestal here, I have the actual project, and then one of the previous projects I made in jewelry a few years ago as a prelude to it. And a few difficult things about it were the claws. These claws took me like 2 or 3 weeks to finish because of the amount of detail I wanted to put into them and give them more of a real texture instead of a welded texture. So definitely the claws took the longest, and I'm most proud of them. It basically is kind of a Cthulhu-like being from the primeval before the world was created, and it is currently in war with another primeval being that created the smaller versions of them. And they are across the known multiverse, slowly plotting over millennia and manipulating mortal minds and creating planets and destroying empires to further their gains to eventually confront each other. That is basically the story behind it.
Hello, everyone that is still here. I am here with our Fuego coordinator. We are at the end of our program, and Nico is going to have to go say goodbye to everyone else in the other room. But I did want to bring him in here for our virtual audience just to say hello. And if anyone had any quick questions about the Fuego program before we end our Zoom for tonight, please feel free to hop off mute and jump in and say hello, or we can say goodbye, whatever works. But Nico, if there's anything you want to say.
Of course, thank you so much for being here. To give our youth an audience is probably such an amazing thing for them to actualize having their projects with an actual audience. And so to have you here is a blessing. This year is unlike any other. As you know, COVID-19 happened. And so last year it was just the second year of Fuegos, and this year it's only first year of Fuegos. You're seeing brand new work from each Fuego, and you're also seeing the inexperience when it's only just the first year of Fuegos in the room. So I'm hoping that you can come back next year where everybody is able to have a mentor in the Fuego program itself with the second year of Fuegos. But once again, I hope you were inspired by our wonderful Fuego Youth Leaders this year. Come back next year, and Godspeed on everything that you do in your own homes.
So I think, Vita, we will formally reopen the program again next summer, and the first years that want to continue on will be invited to continue on. Thank you, Nico. And if they're not able to, that's unfortunate. We designed Fuego to be a 2-year program. So hopefully all 11 will come back, and we'll be recruiting 11 first years and have a really big cohort next year. So fingers crossed. Any other questions or anything about what you saw tonight? Please feel free to hop off mute or just use the chat, and we'll be here just a couple more minutes. Anything you want to say?
Well, no, I mean, I every year I've seen this program from day one, and I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of our youth prior to them becoming Fuego leaders, and just watching, and I think we talked about this a lot, about just watching their growth, not just as human beings and people, and then maturing into young adults, but just watching their growth as artists and creative people. And it's given them these amazing opportunities to kind of express themselves in ways I think that I don't know that they even knew that they had the potential to do. And this program has it's done a tremendous amount for our organization in terms of just being able to get young folks in the building getting their hands dirty, and then turning around and creating these opportunities for them to become leaders in these departments, as well as just being able to teach. I think that teaching aspect of this is something that you don't really get to see that much, but as the years go on and they continue to be engaged and continue to be a part of this community, it shows. So if you come in here to take a class, you might take a class with somebody who was through this Fuego program. We've got studio managers that are helping manage this facility that are ex-Fuego leaders, as well as just a number of amazing faculty members now. So it's a program that it's just a great part of what we do here. And thank you for all the support and for definitely being around here and taking a look at what they do and getting a sneak peek of what's been going on in the studio. It's been an amazing, 6 weeks of summer, and it's been great having this 4 weeks with them. And we're just, blessed to have this space and be able to showcase some of the work they do. So thank you all.
Thank
Really
you all
appreciate
so
it.
much. So Nico in the other room just said thank you to everyone else. So this is officially the end of our Zoom. Thank you all so much for taking the time on a Thursday evening to join us virtually. We hope that this little preview into Fuego was a good one. So please be in touch if there's anything we can improve in the next time, but otherwise have a great night. Thank you so much. We're ending the meeting. Bye.